So if you are thinking about buying new construction, you absolutely have to know a couple things before you ever walk into a new construction site. Otherwise, you very well could get ripped off. So on a new construction site, the person that is sitting in the office is actually working for the builder. And when you first walk in, they're going to ask you to register for their site. If you are not walking in with your realtor already identified or with your realtor with you, you are now obligating yourself to work with that specific agent, and you will not be able to bring in a realtor later. So before you do anything, make sure when you walk into a new construction home, you already have a realtor identified with you, and I have a couple reasons why. You see, with new construction, you can negotiate on quite a few things, but you don't get any more benefit by not working with your own representation. Effectively, you're going to be working with a professional negotiator who is not negotiating on your behalf. So when you walk in with your realtor team already prepared, you're going to have a much better chance of actually negotiating the best possible terms for you if you ultimately decide to buy that home. So let's say now you've walked onto a new construction home sale and you are looking at different homes, you've found one that you like, and you're wanting to walk through that process. Stop again, do not make any negotiations or conversation with the agent that's physically there, because they again are not working in your best interest. Instead, go back to your realtor, and here's a couple things that you're going to want to negotiate. First off, it's important to know that new construction almost never is going to negotiate on price. However, that doesn't mean they won't negotiate on terms, and that is where you're actually going to find a lot of benefit. I've seen new construction lots offer $50,000 to $100,000 in benefits that aren't reflected in the price but are reflected to your bottom line. So a couple things you can look at is first is going to be your closing costs. These are your escrow, lender fees, prepaid costs in order to purchase a home. This could range anywhere between 3 and 5% of the home value, could even be potentially more depending on your type of loan and if you need to buy down any rates. Now, oftentimes new construction is going to offer the most incentives by using their specific lender. However, you are not obligated to use them. You are not required to use them. You can bring in your own lender. Just keep in mind they may or may not offer those same incentive packages. The next thing is going to be upgrades and features. Now, with upgrades and features, you have to keep in mind the phase in which your home is currently built. So if your home is still studs or it has not actually started, you're often able to pick the packages, the colors, you can pick fences, landscaping, all kinds of different things that may or may not have already been pre-planned or pre-priced. Those could range again anywhere between a couple $1,000s to tens or 20s of thousands of dollars of items that you're able to get included in your home that weren't originally offered or weren't originally part of the price. What I've done for clients in the past is made sure we were able to negotiate fridges, washers and dryers, fences, AC units, all of those things that are not typically included in new construction, we're able to get for the clients because we're negotiating that with the site agent. Now, keep in mind, if you work directly with that site agent, they may or may not even tell you those things are possibilities. And so it's unlikely that you would be able to negotiate those in. Okay, and then let's talk about warranties. Most new construction is going to come with a home warranty already included. New construction is almost always going to have things that go wrong. And so it is important that you have that home warranty and are able to get it looked at that 1 year and 2 year mark. Now, one thing with the home warranty though is that you have your own independent inspector. So when you get to the point of being ready to close on your home, make sure you have an independent inspector come in, take a look at the entire home. There are still going to be things that are wrong with the home. Just because it's new doesn't mean people haven't made mistakes. And I've seen things range from plumbing that's not even connected to missing studs to HVAC systems that were not installed correctly. And it is more important than ever with new construction that you get those things looked at up front. Almost always the builder is going to fix them, but it's going to save you a lot of headache if you get them done in advance. And if you're using the inspector that built the home or the one that the site rep offered to you, you may or may not actually be catching the issues. So always bring in your own or have your realtor recommend one for you. With new construction, you also have different ranges in which your home could be ready. This could range from move-in ready, where there's not a whole lot that you can negotiate in terms of making changes to the home, but you do have options in terms of negotiating, paying down rates, or building fences or landscaping. And then you also have homes that are not even started on the groundwork yet, which could be 6 months to a year out. When you're looking at that big range, it's important to keep in mind a couple different things. One is what types of features can you pre-build into your home? And the other thing is if interest rates can change over the time of your home build. Because if interest rates right now are, let's say, 5%, but they're on an increase, by the time you actually close on your home, they could be 6%, and that is going to be the rate you're stuck with. Keep in mind, interest rates do fluctuate with time, but you're only going to lock in your rate usually about 30 days in advance. Now, here's a trick that you may or may not be hearing about, is that some lenders will lock your rate well in advance, and that in itself can be very expensive, but could be a term that we negotiate the seller to pay for. So if you are thinking about having your home built for you, you want to make a lot of modifications and updates to it, that timeline is going to work for you in a way that is going to allow you to make the changes, and it's important to keep in mind to have that interest rate locked. I often get asked what homes are builders most often willing to negotiate with, and those are going to be ones that are ready to move in. Those homes, they want to move out of their inventory, and they're less likely to negotiate on something they haven't really started building because they have plenty of time to find a buyer for that home. So if you are more concerned about having the best possible terms and negotiation and less concerned about the customization, you want to start looking at their inventory that is less than 3 months away from being moved in, or the ones that can be move-in ready right now. Those are going to be your best bet of getting the most possible negotiated. However, keep in mind you can still negotiate for those homes that are further out. You just want to look at different terms. And if you are a home buyer searching for real estate in Washington State, you're specifically looking at new construction, reach out to me. I would love to help you out and represent you in trying to find your next home.